Imagine getting pulled over, doing nothing illegal, and still losing thousands of dollars, legally. No arrest, no charges, no conviction, just gone. And yes, this is real law in America. Most people believe one simple rule. If you're not convicted of a crime, the government can't take your property. That sounds logical. But there's a legal process called civil asset forfeiture that works differently. Very differently. Today we're breaking down what it actually is, how it happens, why it exists, why it's controversial, and what every American should understand about it. This isn't politics. This isn't conspiracy. This is law. And the details matter. Civil asset forfeiture is a legal process that allows law enforcement to seize property they suspect is connected to criminal activity. Notice the key word. Suspect. Not proof. Not convict. Not sentence. Suspect. And here's where it gets unusual. The case is often filed against the property itself. Yes, the property. There have literally been cases titled things like State versus $10,000 in U.S. currency. Not the person, the money. That legal structure is what makes civil forfeiture different from criminal forfeiture. And that's where confusion begins. Let's simplify this. Criminal forfeiture. You are convicted of a crime. The court orders property taken as part of your sentence. Civil forfeiture. Property is seized based on suspicion of being linked to crime. No criminal conviction required. That difference changes everything. Because in civil cases, the standard of proof can be lower. And in many cases, the owner has to prove the property was legally obtained. That reversal surprises people. Most assume the government must prove guilt first. Not always. Let's walk through a realistic example. You're driving across state lines. You have $8,000 in cash. Maybe you're buying a used car. Maybe it's business money. Maybe you just prefer cash. You get pulled over for speeding. The officer asks questions. You mention the cash. That triggers suspicion. The officer believes the money could be connected to illegal activity. It gets seized. You're not arrested. You're not charged. But now, your money is gone. And the legal fight just started. That's where many people feel blindsided. In law enforcement training, large amounts of bundled cash are often associated with illegal drug transactions. So officers are trained to notice rubber-banded bills, hidden compartments, nervous behavior. But here's the important part. Carrying cash is not illegal in the United States. There is no law that limits how much cash you can carry domestically. Still, context matters. And context can lead to seizure. That gray area is where most debates begin. This is where people don't realize how complicated it becomes. After seizure, you must file a claim. You must respond within strict deadlines. You may need an attorney. If you miss deadlines, you lose automatically, even if the money was legitimate. And here's another issue. Hiring a lawyer can cost thousands of dollars. If $4,000 was seized, some people decide it's not worth fighting. And that's why many forfeiture cases are never challenged. Not because the owner was guilty, but because the system is expensive. To understand it fairly, we have to look at why it was created. Civil forfeiture expanded during the 1980s as part of efforts to combat large-scale drug trafficking. The idea was simple. If you take the money, you weaken criminal networks. Instead of just arresting individuals, you disrupt entire operations. And in major organized crime cases, this tool has been used effectively. So the purpose wasn't random. It was strategic. But like many powerful tools, its application has sparked debate. One major criticism is financial incentive. In some jurisdictions, law enforcement agencies can retain a portion of seized assets. That money can be used for equipment, training, and operational expenses. Supporters say it helps departments function. Critics say it creates potential conflict of interest. Even if procedures are legal, perception of incentive can damage public trust. And trust is crucial in law enforcement. Here's something most people don't realize. Civil forfeiture laws vary significantly by state. Some states now require a criminal conviction before property can be permanently taken. Others still allow broader civil authority. That means your rights may differ depending on where you live. And most Americans don't research this until it affects them, which is usually too late. The U.S. Supreme Court has addressed forfeiture multiple times. In one major ruling, the court reinforced that excessive fines can violate the Eighth Amendment. That decision placed constitutional limits on extreme forfeiture cases. But it did not eliminate civil forfeiture entirely. It added guardrails. The system remains, just more scrutinized. This doesn't only happen during traffic stops. It has also occurred in airports. Travelers carrying large sums of cash have reported seizures after screening or questioning. Again, not always arrests. Sometimes just confiscation pending investigation. And once it enters civil court, the burden shifts to you. That procedural shift is what surprises many people. Data shows thousands of forfeiture cases occur across the country annually, but most involve smaller amounts of money, which makes them less likely to be challenged. Large organized crime cases make headlines. Smaller individual cases often don't. And that's why awareness is important. Not fear. Awareness. This video isn't telling you to panic. It's telling you to understand. If you carry large amounts of cash, be prepared to explain it. Keep documentation if possible. Understand your state's laws. Knowledge doesn't create conflict. It prevents surprises. And legal awareness is power. Here's the part most people don't think about. Civil asset forfeiture is just one example of how civil law operates differently from criminal law. There are other legal powers most Americans assume require conviction, but don't. And in our next video, we're breaking down what police can legally do during a routine traffic stop. That might surprise you even more than this. If this opened your eyes even a little, subscribe, because understanding the law before you face it is always better than learning it the hard way.